Hi replay viewers, just hanging out. I'm gonna wax some wine cups here. Thought I would show off a little bit what my technique is. It's a gorgeous Friday afternoon in Montana City, Montana. Hi Charsha, how are ya? I am gonna try and mess with my angle here a little bit. You guys can see what's going on. Thank you. I'm behind. My mom was in the hospital last week and I got behind on what I was doing, so now I got to get refocused and get back into the swing of things here. So okay, so let me show you what I have here. These are the cheapest foam brushes I could find, and I have some Bray wax. The Archie Bray Foundation has their clay biz, and that's where I buy most of my supplies. Oh, yuck, yeah. So I buy big bottles of wax from the Bray, and I put food coloring in it so I can see it when I put it on my pots. And then I put it in a little yogurt cup and add water to it so it's a little bit thinner, so that it soaks in a little bit better. And then I use my little foam brush and an old lid, and I dab off the excess. So this is what you're going to be seeing me do here. And I was working all week at my day job that I got because I needed medical insurance. So I come home at the end of the day and pretend I'm a studio potter again. Yeah, just add water and it thins it, and you can see here. I'm going to bring you in a little closer here, Charsha, so you can see this. Is that okay? Is that all right? You get to see the pot a little bit anyway. So I don't worry too much about getting that all perfectly centered. It looks nicer when it's perfectly centered, but it's not a big deal. And I don't really want to show too much of this clay body, but I do need to be sure that I wax the feet because I glazed the heck out of this 3 ways from Sunday. And you can kind of see after I added the food color, it's not a huge color difference, but it's much easier to see when it's slightly blue than when it's the cream color it starts out as. So, and see my drain hole there? Those cleaned up really nice. I was really pleased with that. So, yeah, yes, exactly, exactly, and the bottom of the pots and all of that. So here's the other thing. Once I get done waxing the feet, I do my first layer of glaze. And then I let that set up for a couple hours, and then I come back and I wax the lip over the top of that first layer of glaze. And then I apply a second layer of glaze over the outside. And on this particular set, I think I'm going to mess with it a little bit. I'm going to maybe wax some where I wax the feet in addition to the lip, and just have the body have that really textured strontium effect, and just the plain white foot might make it stand out. We'll try it. We'll see. Thanks, Charsha. So we'll see how it will work. I don't know. We'll see. So I have, I think, 30 or more of these to get the wax done, and I like to have that first layer of wax dry overnight. And it's like, I don't know, it's so nice outside. So Montana City is just outside of Helena, Montana, and Helena is the home of the famous Archie Bray Foundation, and I live about 5 miles south of Helena. I'm about 20 miles or so away from the Bray, and so that's where I get all my supplies. And I'm not kidding, it is the most beautiful spring day today. We're just having a gorgeous day. It's 70 degrees, the wind's not blowing, which is some kind of miracle, and it is gorgeous. And I'm in my basement under my fluorescent lights thinking about these deadlines, trying to get these things done, working on building up my inventory so when I reopen my wholesales, well, I'm going to reopen my wholesale line and then hopefully develop several accounts from there, and the quicker the better. So, all right, Charsha, thanks very much. Have a lovely rest of your day. So, yeah, and Adam Field blasted through all kinds of ceilings last night and this morning, getting all kinds of Potters of Periscope fame. And he's got that new clay scope thing. I haven't had time to check out what that's all about. Anybody know? I haven't. I know Neil Chalani and Michael Klein are in on it. I'd be curious to hear what the scoop is. And so one of the things I do after the end of the scopes that I do is I go back and I write a blog post on my website. I've been keeping up with that pretty good. Fill out the thought processes and the ideas that popped into my head. I watch the replay, and if there's a question that came up that I missed, I try to address that. So get these all waxed. I've got some slab trays in process in the damp box, and I'm going to build some slab trays this weekend. Hopefully get this all glazed and waxed and ready to go. Get it in the kiln, get it decal fired hopefully by the end of the week. I have a couple of custom orders I'd like to get out for some folks. Can you hear the tunes at all in the background? I feel like you can see the speakers, they're right behind me. Yeah? So I just want to be sure that's not too loud. I was listening to somebody's Periscope the other day, yesterday I think, and music was a little distracting. I don't want that to be an issue. Even though I don't have a whole heck of a lot to say today. Just going to get this stuff done. Wanted to check in. Not sure how much scoping I'm going to get done this weekend, knowing I'm under a deadline and got to focus. Hi Suzanne, how are ya? Thanks for joining. I have, these are my wine cups. So these are bisqued. This is, I was interested, I was watching Corey's scope the other day. She's using this clay. This is Plainsman's M340. She's also using Plainsman's M370, which is a wider body. This is a buff body. Good, glad to hear it. Anyway, so I'm not the only one using this funny buff clay. It's been a really solid clay for me. I've used it for a long time, but I'm ready to transition into a wider clay body. So there's a clay that the Bray produces that they're calling A clay, and I am interested in giving that a try and see how the wider body works with my glazes. So anyway, I am just waxing the feet of these wine cups. Get ready to fill that up. I've got some plates and some wine cups. I'm thinking about applying to a show, but the deadline's next Friday, and I don't have quite the body of work that I want to present for that, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Now here's a funny. Look at that. There's some red iron oxide on the bottom of that foot. Yeah, I think I can just fire that. The bottom of that foot's going to get a final sanding when I'm done firing it, after I've decaled everything. I can, yeah, it seems like a pretty decent angle. So, trying to spread the word, get all kinds of, oh, thanks Suzanne, I appreciate that. Trying to get my pottery out there, get people interested in what I do is ZephyrValley Ceramics and ZephyrValley Pottery, and both because I couldn't decide which one to be. And I've got a whole bunch of these. Here, I'm going to angle this. Let's set this up so I'm on my... So this is my new wear rack I'm really stoked about. And as you can see, I have a wine cup or two to finish waxing. Get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be glaze day for sure. I'm still wearing my work clothes. I didn't even stop to put on pottery clothes. Don't have any new fun t-shirts. I need to work on finding some more fun clay-oriented t-shirts. One of my favorites, the one is that says caution. It has the diamond on the front, says caution. I throw things. It's one of my favorites. I've got a Mudslingers t-shirt, kind of like Gunslinger except Mudslinger. It's awesome. So, oh, and the other one that I have that's really funny has a vase in the center and around and it's green, and around the vase it says pot throwing is legal in all 50 states. That one gets people's attention. I always get a chuckle out of that. So this is actually the custom order that I have. I used to, so I'm doing this is actually really good. Isn't that funny? So this is a good example. I originally threw these cups. In fact, I have one of the original. So I started throwing these back in I think 2008, and I did this foot. You can kind of see that's my old chop, and I kept these because I really like drinking out of them, but I stopped making them. They're work intensive. There's two pieces. They have to be assembled. You have to do it in just exactly the right timing, or one piece or the other falls off. So I didn't keep making them. But a friend and I, Sleepy Rooster, that's his handle here on Periscope. He and I were having a meal, and we were visiting, and he said he really liked holding that cup. I have two of these. He was drinking out of one, and he's like, Paige, you got to make these again. And so I trust what he thinks. He's got a pretty good sense of those things. So I did. I made a whole bunch, and they've been very popular. But I made them with this foot. I made them with a Unomi style foot, and I thought that would give it a bit of a, I don't know, maybe an upscale feel. You know, you can kind of see. I'll just adjust the angle on this here, so you can see this. See how a little crooky. There we go. So I just thought that would give a nice, more elevated feel to the cup. This particular is a special order. The gentleman who requested these asked that I put a thumb impression in the side of the cup so that he could hold on to the cup. But this is, I made a whole bunch of these, and I sold out of those. But when I needed to make them again, I realized as I was drinking out of this cup that I really liked drinking out of this cup, and there was something that this foot added. It made it feel more like a wine cup. So I decided to go ahead and suck it up and do this foot, and I'm really glad I did, because this has been there's just something about this cup that I really, really like. So that's going to be the shape, and I really think that's fun. And also, because I had made this bunch, I knew that I needed a drain hole, so that the water, when it's in the dishwasher, the water would drain out and not collect in that cup in the top. So hopefully that helps make that even more, that much more user friendly. But yeah, I think this is going to be interesting. I'll be curious to see what the feedback is from my customer about this. And of course, because I believe in Murphy's Law, I'm convinced that if there is a God, his name is Murphy. I made 4 of these for a custom order of 2, because if you don't make double what you need, you are surely going to need extras. And so far, so good. So I have 4 of those, and so I'll fill my custom order and have a couple extras. There's a local art walk that's happening next month, May 13th. And I'll take the thumb impressed ones and get kind of a sense of what people, just sort of the general public, think. And that'll be fun. I like doing the art walk. It's only a, let's see, it's from 5 to 9, so it's only a very short show, a 4-hour show. And of course, setup takes 6 hours and tear down takes 3, but you know, what the heck. And the place that's sponsoring me is a downtown business, so I'll be inside under some really nice lights. And that's always a bonus. They even have extra lights they're going to bring in. And that's one thing I've learned in the various trade shows I've done, that lighting is everything. Because that is a big, big deal when selling pottery in public. So, yeah. I'm liking this station. This is Pandora. I pulled up the Lumineers station. It's very nice. Oh, I did. Okay. These will be all ready for tomorrow. Oh, and I have a couple other experiments too. If you've been watching, I have these guys. These are the bisqued versions of some tests that I'm running. That's red iron oxide in my clay body slip. And we're going to give those a shot, see how those look. I've got some goobers here, and I think I'm going to go sand those off before I wax these. Let those dry overnight, and hopefully they're ready to glaze tomorrow too. Got a little carried away with that red iron oxide slip. Oh, and the other one I saw, let's see, who was it? Was it Jess that went to the John Britt workshop last week? I saw her scope. She got a ton of great information. I have his book, but it sounds like having a workshop with him is just all kinds of empowering and fabulous. So I took a glaze workshop with Julia Galloway 4 years ago, maybe not that long ago, and it was great, and it's exhausting, and there's so much information, and she was just generous and wonderful, and it sounds like John Britt is in person as he seems to be on YouTube, so that's pretty cool. I would like to go do one of those. That'd be fun. I've been very fortunate being so close here to the Bray Foundation that I get to easily attend some really great workshops. And definitely recommend, if anybody gets the opportunity to do that, because it's always nice to get a little juiced up about new techniques. Right, I am very nearly done with these cups. So I think that's probably going to be it for me. You guys have any suggestions, anything you want to learn or know, or anything that you think that I can do to make this a more interesting experience? I don't drink and do pottery at the same time. I've always found that to be productive, but it is a lot of fun, and I do sip and scope, just the watching part though, not the scoping part. In any case, I have an email, I have a blog, and I have, of course, Facebook and all of that stuff. So I'm open to suggestions. If there's anything you guys are curious about or want to know, like I said, I do a blog post about pretty much every Periscope that I do, just and thoughts and that kind of thing. And my blog is on my website. It's not a separate piece. It's integrated into my website. So, the website's ZephyrValley pottery.com. On Etsy, I'm ZephyrValley Ceramics, and I think I'm both on Facebook. One's a personal page and one's a business page, and the lines are very blurred. So, let's see, is that it for cups? Yeah, it is. So, I have some greenware though, I'll show you real quick. So, those are my whiskey cups. So, just to kind of give you a sense of scale here, that is a bone dry. Almost bone. Almost bone. So there won't be too much more shrinkage now. But that is, so that's a in process, not even yet bisque fired, and a finished piece. And I think that's always kind of fun to see them side by side. Ooh, boy, that's a good way to break a pot. So, yeah. Are all about pretty consistently the same size. So it's a ½ pound of clay I throw straight on a bat. And, see, now I'm looking over behind myself. I see some fun stuff. My daughter, Amelia, is very interested in the art process and the clay process, and she wants to be a part of everything that I do, which is really awesome. And I got her started on making trinket dishes because I told her, this is the deal. You make these dishes and we will sell them, and half of whatever we sell them for is going to go into your savings account, and that will help fund your future, whether it's college or traveling Europe or whatever it is that you want to do. So she has been making these really cute, so she's doing everything. She's rolling the slabs. I help transport the slabs, but she's cutting out the pieces, she's applying the stamps. I've helped soften the edges of some of these. She's got a really, I think it's a great idea. Get them involved, spend the time with them. Now, isn't that special? Isn't that cute? So a lot of these stamps, like this stamp right here, this is a stamp that Charity Elise made. And actually the circle stamp here, Charity Elise made those too. Isn't that awesome? And I just have I have some favorites. I can't deny it. Isn't that cool? So we're going to take these and we're going to sell these, and we'll tell people. Amelia made these, and half of whatever we sell them for, and I don't know, I'm thinking, so these are going to be about 4 inches when they're done. And these are going to be about 3.5 or so when they're done. And I was thinking $10 for the bigger ones and $8 for the smaller ones. Does that seem, they're going to just be one color? They're going to be white or green or kind of a rusty color. Does that seem like an okay price? I'm not sure. It's kind of an experiment for me to see what people are willing to pay for kid art, right? I don't really know. So this is another stamp. This diamond-shaped one. That's another one by Charity Elise. Boy, Amelia's got all kinds of stuff going on here. She's got some fun texture here and something here. It's kind of fun, and that diamond shape again. Isn't that cool? So these are in process. I'm also thinking, now let me bounce this idea off you. I can't do a Periscope with her in the room because she's like right in front. She is a performer by nature. She's just a very outgoing person, and she likes to be people's friend. She's never met a person that was a stranger. Everybody, she knows everybody. You think the price is okay? Thanks, Suzanne. Appreciate it. Have a good night. So I'm thinking maybe just do a Periscope and she can show us how she makes her trinket dishes. I kind of think it might be a fun thing for her to do. She very much wants to be a part of the process, and she wants to engage people, and I think that that would be a really interesting way for her to do it. So I don't know. I'll be looking for your feedback in the post, in the comments on my blog post, and also, like I said, Facebook. That would be a really interesting conversation to have. Part of me is like, yeah, Periscope, but we can, you know, we could save the video and use it in a particular way. Just something I'm gonna think about. I'm gonna maybe put it on Potters of Periscope and see what the group think feels about that. I have positive and negatives I feel about that. So I don't know, something worth exploring anyway. So that's it for me. I'm done waxing the feet of these cups. I hope y'all have a good night and a good weekend, and take care.